Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm gonna be giving you a brand new series. What if Naruto was gifted with godly abilities from the Spirit Gods Part 1 guys? Watch as Naruto embark upon an adventure with powerful spirits backing him and also gifting him with amazing abilities and powers that he could only dream of. How would he use his powers in the ninja world? Would he turn his wrath upon the ones that wrong him, or would he use it to save and protect? However, no man was supposed to be blessed with so much power, so how would the world view him as a threat after all? A being this powerful should be seen as a threat. But let's see how Naruto uses it, shall we? Well, lean back, relax, and enjoy. And don't forget more to come, guys. I'll be seeing you guys soon, so what do you say we jump right into this? Don't forget to check out the link down below if you want to see for yourself. And enjoy! So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this? Begin now, guys. Konoha, one of the most beautiful hidden village in the entire world during the day. But when the moon is high in the sky, that is when the true beauty shine down upon the village as the veteran shinobis were walking out of a local pub, laughing. In their drunken stupor, that is when a blur, an orange flash passed by. As they stop, seeing the orange blur pass them, the orange blur that just rushed past them was known as Naruto Uzumaki, and he just did something that no one else could have accomplished. He had stolen the Forbidden Scroll. He knocked out the Hokage by using his sexy jutsu. With his grain growing by every second, Naruto continued his journey towards the forest. As he made his way towards the old shed that Mizuki told him to meet him at, as he tried to slide to a halt, but he tripped on a pebble as he ended up crashing face first. He stood there for a while until his embarrassment subsided before he got up and made his way. Operation successfully grabbed the scroll. Now to open it, said Naruto. As he tried to open it, but he found out a few moments later that opening it was a lot harder than it sounded. Okay, maybe I did not think this thing through, said Naruto. As he sat down, trying to open it but it would not. He then got up and started to stomp on it, but it was still not open, so he picked it up and threw it into a tree. But to his shock, the scroll had embedded itself into the tree. As Naruto walked over and started to pull, as he yanked it out, he then proceeded to grab a falling tree branch as he tried to pry it open, but it just wouldn't budge. As Naruto pulled his hand down the tree branch, causing him to dig in his skin, cutting his palm, causing him to bleed. Damn it, said Naruto as he threw the branch away, which his blood was on, as his hands was now bleeding. Frustrated and angry, Naruto brought his hand down to smack the scroll. In frustration as he turned his back, unaware that his blood just triggered something. Why, said Naruto, why can't I catch a break? All I wanted was to become a shinobi, to become Hokage and hopefully earn the right to be her friend again. As Naruto slammed his fist into the ground, as he lowered his head forward, maybe she was right, maybe. I'm nothing but a failure, he said to himself. That is when Naruto saw a glowing blue. As he spun around, his eyes widened to what he saw. Meanwhile, Iruka Mino was mad. Iruka was furious, livid, pissed off as he was searching for his blonde student. He was all ready to go home and relax and enjoy himself after a long day at the academy when Mizuki had showed up, saying that the Hokage had summoned them, as Naruto had stolen the Forbidden Scroll of Secret. He didn't know what possessed his favorite student to commit a stupid crime like that. However, he was also confused that Naruto was able to somehow knock out the Hokage who kept the scroll in his safe under his decks. And another thing was, how did Naruto know the code for the safe in the first place? Don't worry, Iruka, Mizuki said. Everything's gonna be alright. A sweet smile on his lips as they move off. However, Iruka was stopped as he was hugged from behind. Turned around, he leaned in and kissed the woman behind him, who was none other than the snake mistress of Konoha. As they broke apart, she was about to say something until she tilted her head. That is when she saw something as she pointed. I think that might be your boy. Mizuki was already gone, as Iruka saw a dull blue light, growing brighter and brighter within the forest. With one last kiss, he dashed off. Please, Kami, let me find him first, Iruka thought to himself, knowing that some of the people within this village, majority of them did not like Naruto, and he needed to find him first. With Naruto, as the light died down, Naruto saw the scroll was now open. As he smirked, let's see, he said. Shadow Clone Jutsu, the first one he came across. He always had a problem with the normal clone jutsu. As Naruto got to work, it did not take him long as Naruto released a breath with a smile on his face. I proved everyone wrong. I proved her wrong. I do have what it takes to be a shinobi, and soon I'll prove them wrong when I become Hokage. Believe it, he said. But he was not done yet, as Naruto saw another technique. The Great Clone Explosive Bomb. His eyes perked up at that when he saw that one. That honestly sounded damn cool, he thought to himself. That is when he heard something. Someone was coming. As Naruto pulled out something to write on, as he quickly wrote down what to do. As Naruto turned to see Iruka behind him, who was fuming. Bam! Iruka punched him over the head. Ow! Damn it, Iruka-sensei, that hurt, said Naruto. As Iruka rubbed his knuckle with a frown on his face. Naruto, you're lucky. That's all you're getting for stealing the Forbidden Scroll. Iruka yelled at him. You're lucky I got here first, otherwise things would have been a lot more worse. As Naruto looked down towards the ground, pondering his sensei words. He always knew that the villagers shunned him, but he never understood why they did this to him. And next to the third Hokage, Iruka was one that helped and protected him. Even now, Iruka had searched for so long to find him, and it doesn't matter how much Iruka got on his nerves, and always bust up his pranks, and make him clean up his messes. Naruto was grateful that at least someone cared for him. But then Naruto remembered why he stole the scroll in the first place. I had a reason for taking it, said Naruto. Besides, I'm not stealing it, he said. Oh? And what exactly is that reason, Iruka asks. Well, Mizuki-sensei told me that if I learn a jutsu from the scroll, I would pass a test. The good news though is that I was able to learn one from it, said Naruto. Iruka faced pale when he heard that. Not about Naruto learning something from the scroll, but about what involved Mizuki. He could not deny that he was also proud that Naruto was able to learn something from the scroll. Naruto, are you sure that Mizuki told you to do this? As Naruto nodded, confirming that. As Iruka immediately got filled with dread. Iruka could not possibly fathom that Mizuki, the man that he grew up with, the man that he shed blood, sweat and tears with, doing so many missions, the man that he had consoled when his girlfriend was forced to leave the village, would betray Konoha and frame a small child under the guise of being a shinobi. As he looked down towards Naruto, he could tell that Naruto was not lying. He's known Naruto for a long while now, and Naruto wouldn't lie to him about something like this. The child did not steal it, he was tricked into doing so. That is when Iruka overheard something whistling through the ear. He quickly tackled Naruto out of the way as the shuriken passed and slammed into the tree. I should have known that you would be here, Iruka. Iruka turned as he looked to see Mizuki on the tree branch, a gigantic Fuma shuriken on his back. I just don't understand why you would come for this thing, Mizuki said, as he launched more shurikens towards the two. Iruka grabbed Naruto and leaped in the air as he avoided all the projectiles. What the hell are you doing, Mizuki? Iruka shouted to his friend as he jumped towards a branch holding on to Naruto. What do you think, you idiot? I'm getting what belongs to me. He pulled his giant Fuma shuriken off his back and leaped forward. However, Iruka rolled away as he tossed a few shurikens towards Mizuki. Mizuki used the Fuma shuriken to deflect all of them. I don't understand. Why? Why would you betray our village? Why try and set up Naruto for your heinous plot? Iruka said. However, Mizuki did not say anything. Answer me, Iruka yelled. Mizuki frowned at his friends, well, his former friends' stupid questions. As he jumped forward and attacked, he was able to strike Iruka in the leg, making the man fall back toward the tree. Iruka-sensei, are you okay? Said Naruto as Iruka released him. As Naruto started to panic as he saw his sensei pull the lone kunai out of his leg. I'm fine, Naruto. Don't worry about me, Iruka said, trying to soothe the child. As he stood up on the branch shakily, trying to keep himself steady on the tree. I have to admit, said Mizuki, I'm impressed that you're still trying, Iruka, despite the wound and all. But let us see how far that you can truly go, Mizuki said. Iruka held the kunai that pierced his leg as he leaped forward, as the both of them vanished. As Naruto did not see the two Chunin, but he heard metal clashing against metal, as well as a groan and grunting, as Naruto started to feel his heart rate increase. As the clash of weapons got closer and closer until both men appeared, both of them, weapons locked together in a clash. Iruka, I just don't get you, said Mizuki as he tried to push him back. You know he's the cause of your parents' death and yet you still protect him. I'm sure that Ruki-san and Kato-san are rolling around in their grave right now. Iruka pushed him away as Mizuki flipped and landed on the branch, as Iruka launched himself towards him and landed a brutal punch across his face. Iruka then grabbed him by the hair and proceeded to slam his head right into the tree. He then turned and slammed his heel right into his stomach, blasting Mizuki away as he crashed into a tree branch. Don't you dare mention them, you traitor, Iruka said, raising his voice, as Iruka rushed towards him, but Mizuki smirked as he pulled out and swinged his giant Fuma Shuriken, flashing through hand sign as he did so. As the thing multiplied, Iruka was able to dodge the first one, but the second one was right in the shadow, as he was able to avoid the thing from taking his head off, but it pierced into his shoulder. As Iruka grabbed onto his shoulder and looked up, Mizuki was coming down as he pushed off and landed on the ground, now wounded in two different areas. But it's true, Iruka. You defended that demon without hesitation. The very same beam that nearly razed his village down to the ground, as Mizuki placed the Fuma Shuriken on his back, as he pulled out a kunai. My plan was simple. I get the Forbidden Scroll and give it to my true leader, while setting up that blonde-haired monster, and kill it. And then I became the grand hero of this worthless village until Orochimaru-sama burned it down to the ground. But you had to interfere with my plan, didn't you? Demon? Monster? What are you talking about, said Naruto, as he overheard all the traitor had to say. Mizuki smirked even wider. Oh yeah, I forgot that you did not know about your grand secret. A grand secret that you were never told. Secret, said Naruto. Mizuki smirked as he saw that he got Naruto's attention. Oh yes, the secret is all about you. You see, the secret is... Mizuki tried to talk, but Iruka used the opportunity to get closer. Mizuki so caught up in mocking Naruto, Iruka was able to slam his elbow right into his face, causing the man to stumble. He then turned and slammed his shoulder right into his guts. However, as Mizuki was falling back, he grabbed Iruka's leg and squeezed the wound that he received earlier, causing Iruka to cry out. He then slammed his fist into Iruka's face. He then used the kunai that he still had and drive it straight into Iruka's chest. However, Iruka swapped places with a log at the right moment, as the log was split in half, just to show the amount of force that Mizuki used to slam right into Iruka. Iruka appeared beside Naruto, on one knee, but he forced himself to his feet, as he gave Naruto the scroll. Naruto, get out of here. Just go, he said. Where are you going, Naruto? I thought you want to hear the big secret. As Naruto took the scroll as he paused, once more looking up. No, don't listen to him. Take the scroll and go now, Naruto. Go, Iruka yelled at him. It's a real big one. The reason why you're so hated. As Naruto paused. It's a trick. Get out of here, Naruto. Don't listen to him. Oh, trick. But aren't you the one tricking him, Iruka? Said Mizuki, a gleeful smirk on his face. You see, it's because he planned to take revenge on you, just like everyone else in this village, plotting and preparing themselves to strike you down. As Naruto paused, seeing Iruka walking towards him, trying to make him go. What are you talking about? Said Naruto. You don't know why everyone hates you, do you? Mizuki, don't you dare, Iruka yelled. It's because you are the 90th fox. Naruto's eyes widened on hearing that, as Iruka saw what Mizuki was doing as Mizuki launched the Fuma Shuriken. Naruto was unresponsive as he was about to get pierced. You're the monster that caused all of this. Mizuki shouted in rage. You're the one who took the Furikage away, even killed Iruka's parents, and now I will solve all of that by bringing you to your death. I'm the Kyuubi? Naruto thought, seconds away from being impaled by the weapon coming his way. However, Iruka was able to knock Naruto away, as one of the kunais that Mizuki had thrown with the Fuma Shuriken had stabbed into his back. But he picked Naruto up in a scroll and ran. Mizuki simply scoffed. Iruka was on his last legs. He would not be getting far with Iruka. Damn it, Naruto. Stop struggling, Iruka said, as he held on to Naruto and the scroll. Why are you saving me, Sensei, said Naruto. I killed your parents. I killed so much people. Why? Why are you doing this? As Naruto's tone sounded defeated, as his body stopped moving altogether. Gone was his bright blue eyes and his foxy grin. The only thing he saw was bitter. A bitter, grim look on his student face with dull, faded eyes. Because Iruka fell over, dropping Naruto in a scroll. As he panted, You're not the Kyuubi, he said. Sensei, that's not true, Mizuki. Naruto, listen to me carefully. I'm only gonna say this once, alright? As Naruto looked towards Iruka, who pulled himself up, despite the agony that he was currently in, he looked towards Naruto with a soft smile. There was a time when I thought about befriending you only to get my revenge for the death of my parents, just as Mizuki said. But I felt so guilty about thinking of you that way. I went to the Hokage and talked to him, and I can never forget what he told me, said Iruka as he winced as the kunais were still in his back. Just because you live in a house does that mean that you're the house itself? At first I did not know what he meant, but he decided to give me a mission to spend time with you. And I accept that mission to understand who you were. And as I watch you grow, laugh, cry, frown, smile, I realized what he meant. As Iruka coughed right into his hand as Naruto saw blood, as he started to worry and panic. But Iruka was determined to finish because he felt like this was his last chance to do so. You were not the Kyuubi, you were simply the host. And even to this day I felt so sickened with myself for how I treated you back then. I treated you like the monster that killed thousands instead of you. You are not the Kyuubi. You are Naruto Uzumaki, the most hyperactive, loudmouthed, kind-hearted prankster that I've grown to know and love as a son. And I humbly apologize for all I've done and felt about you before that day. Please, will you forgive me for my past foolish transaction, Iruka said. Naruto did not know what to say. As when Iruka first admitted what Mizuki said was true, Naruto wanted to run away, but seeing the tears, hearing the man saying that he saw him as a son, Sensei, of course, said Naruto, I forgive you. There was never a doubt, said Naruto, tears in his eyes flowing down. Iruka smiled when he heard the whistling. He looked around but he could not see where it was coming from. He then saw the bush open up as something flew out of it, but not aimed at him but Naruto. There was no way that he could dodge that in time. Iruka moved and slapped Naruto out of the way, using every strength that he could muster as the shuriken stabbed right through his throat. Not deep enough to decapitate him, but deep enough for him to collapse, face first, his body not moving in the slightest. As Naruto watched Iruka drop, he felt like his entire world had just shattered into a million pieces, as Iruka Mino was no more. Cold, empty. That was what Naruto was feeling at the moment, as he looked at Iruka unmoving figure in front of him. Earlier today, Iruka was smiling, yelling, running around, alive. And now, all Naruto could see was his corpse. That is when he heard laughter behind him. Oh, poor pathetic Iruka. Pathetic even upon your death. The voice of Mizuki came. Naruto felt something boiling inside of him as he reached and took Iruka's pouch and strapped it to his thigh. He then turned his gaze towards a figure that was leaning against a tree with a smug, arrogant look on his face. Now with him out of the way, hand me the scroll and I promise you'll see your sensei very... Mizuki couldn't get to finish as Naruto saw red. Naruto threw himself forward. I'm gonna kill you, he said, as he threw punches and kicks. However, Mizuki dodged, Most, if not all of them. Oh, would you look at that? The little demon is trying to avenge his sensei. How cute. As Mizuki rammed his knee into Naruta's stomach, taking the breath out of the young child. As Naruto fell to the ground in a small heap, but Mizuki grabbed him by the hair and rammed his knee into Naruta's face several times until blood was leaking down. As he lifted Naruto's face up and smirked at his bloody face. Now what do you have to say now, demon? He asks, a smile as he tossed Naruto towards Iruka, unmoving corpse. As Naruto coughed up blood, he knew that he was overmatched. He wasn't even a shinobi, and here he was, trying to fight a chunin. But while he was unskilled, he had something else up his sleeve. As Naruto slowly got up, a brutal kick slammed in his guts. He was blasted towards the tree that Iruka was next to. Mizuki gripped him by the throat, not giving time for Naruto to do anything, as he picked him up with a boisterous laugh. It's time for the game to be over, Kyuubi, he said, a vicious gleam in his eyes. As Naruto felt the blood in his mouth as he spat it right in Mizuki's face, right into his left eye as Mizuki howled out, dropping Naruto as he rubbed his eye. You filthy monster, he said, as he pulled his leg back and slammed it across Naruto's face, causing the child's head to bounce across the ground as he picked him up and started to punch him repeatedly. A wicked grin on his face as he let out his anger and frustration on the demon. He then threw Naruto as Naruto bounced off the tree and crashed right into the bush. He then ripped the shuriken from Iruka's neck as he walked forward. Come on out, you demon brat, he said. It's time we end this game. However, a large massive smoke overcame the entire area. Mizuki looked up in shock as over 24 Naruto was crouching in the trees above him, each of them with a dangerous gleam in their eyes, but Mizuki was not scared though. Oh, look at this. The demon can make replicas. It's a pity that they're fake though. And that's where you're wrong, said Naruto as he crawled out of the bush, being held by two of his clones. These are shadow clones. The smirk on Mizuki's face instantly vanished. So these are true clones, you demon. Well, it doesn't matter. You might have the number, but I have the advantage. In training, power, and skill, you are nothing to me. As Naruto glanced up towards his clones, kill him, he said. Mizuki spun as he destroyed 5 clones. He then twirled the shuriken as he destroyed another 7. He then jumped in the air, avoiding 2 kunais from 2 other clones, before he decapitated them as they poofed away. He then tilted his head, dodging the kunai that stabbed into the tree. As he kicked 2 more clones in their chests, he then turned and drive the shuriken, cutting 2 more down. As he laughed darkly, 8 clones remaining and the original. Well, well, well. Would you look at this? Not a scratch on me. Now come, and let me finish you off. 3 clones launched their kunai, but Mizuki blocked all of them. He slashed the first one and slashed the second one. However, the remaining Naruto and the clones jumped into the fray as they started raining down blows on him. As Mizuki tried to take out the real one, but the clone stopped him. Damn it, said Mizuki as he dodged an overhead kick, but the real Naruto rammed his knee into his face. Mizuki staggered back before he kicked Naruto away, as he threw his shuriken towards Naruto's chest. However, a clone leaped forward and took the hit, poofing away. Another clone came up behind him, but he spun and grabbed the clone by the face and threw him into another one, throwing his giant Fuma shuriken as it pierced through the both of them, dispelling them. The last 5 clones and Naruto as Mizuki pulled out 2 shurikens as he looked towards him with a snarl. He then proceeded to rush forward as he moved in as well. The real Naruto jumped towards his face, but Mizuki ducked as he turned to slash him, but 2 clones grabbed his leg and yanked him back, causing him to fall right on his face. As the last 2 clones grabbed his arms, the real Naruto came down and slammed a brutal kick in his stomach. He then proceeded to kick Mizuki right under the chin, causing his head to snap upwards, blood leaking from his lips. As Naruto and the one clone that was free started to stomp and step on him, beating him viciously. After the first few stomps, Mizuki felt his ribs breaking as he felt blood start to fill his mouth. Forcing out his chakra, he ripped his legs out of the hole of the clones before he slammed his fist into the one that was on him, blasting him back. Picking up the kunai, he stabbed it in both of the clones that grabbed his arm. He then launched the final one towards the other one that held onto his leg, dispelling that one as well. as he stabbed the last clone that remained there. However, the smoke poofed right in his face, temporarily blinding him. As Naruto's fist came out of the smoke and smashed across his face, launching him backwards, Naruto landed on his chest as he started to savagely beat the living crap out of him. Only thing Naruto saw was Iruka's body as he kept on punching and punching and punching and punching and punching until his hands were soaked in his blood. Mizuki started to plead for his life as Naruto kept on beating the living crap out of him. As Naruto did not stop until he saw Mizuki stop moving, as Naruto's hands were soaked in the liquid. He glanced up towards the heaven. As he looked toward his hands, bringing his gaze down. Blood. How wonderful, isn't it, Naruto-kun? A voice spoke up. The voice was cold, dark, and also female. It was coming from his head. When the voice spoke, Naruto's blue eyes had flashed into a deep crimson. As Naruto was not paying attention as he was so mesmerized by the blood for some reason. However, Mizuki had pretending like he had died, just to make Naruto stop punching him. The bloody, beaten Mizuki was still holding on to the kunai in his hand. He gathered every last ounce of his strength as he gripped the hilt of the kunai. He could not even speak properly. His teeth had been broken and bashed out. Die, demon, he said. His tongue had been cut and bit in several locations because of Naruto slamming his fist down on his face. Mizuki then proceeded to ram the kunai right in Naruto's chest. As Naruto looked down with shock, Mizuki panted as he pulled the weapon out and rammed it right into Naruto's throat. As Naruto fell right off of him beside him to the ground, Mizuki being unable to move either. As Naruto's blue eyes turned black, as soulless, black, dark eyes. As Mizuki coughed up blood, as he slowly got up as he kicked Naruto, saw the child unmoving. He slowly staggered forward as he grabbed the scroll, coughing up blood as he did so. He had to get out of here. He was so weak, but he had to, as he slowly crept away. Meanwhile, Naruto felt like he was embraced by some strange sensation. He didn't know what it was. However, he was not afraid. In fact, it was the opposite. He felt at peace, and most of all, he felt protected, love, from wherever he was at the moment. Wake up, Naruto-kun. Opening his eyes, Naruto saw blue petals. As he glanced up towards the heaven, blue petals were just floating above him. As he lay there confused, not understanding what was going on. He then pulled himself up as Naruto found himself in a beautiful blue meadow of sort, with strange red petals and blue floating above him. A soft, gentle breeze as Naruto got the dust off his pants. However, his pants were not what he expected, as he was wearing all white, with fingerless gloves, and a strange golden swirl on the back of his gloves. Where did these come from? He thought to himself. I chose those for you, Naruto-kun. Naruto froze, as his mind started to register the voice. As Naruto turned to see a woman, long flowing red hair, a white gown, with a golden trim along the side, beautiful blue eyes. Her dress also had a golden spiral just like his gloves. Naruto wondered if this was an angel. You've grown so much, Naruto-kun. Her voice was sweet, soft. Tears falling from her eyes as she looked at him. As Naruto looked at the angel strangely, but still, he couldn't speak. I'm sorry that we had to meet like this, Naruto-kun, but I guess it was bound to happen sooner or later. She reached up and touched his throat, as Naruto was suddenly able to speak. Who the hell are you? Said Naruto. And why couldn't I speak? And why do you call me Naruto-kun? There was only one person that could call him Naruto-kun, and sadly he would never hear that come from her mouth ever again. That is when she started to laugh so gently. It was a wonderful sound. What's so funny? Naruto asked. She touched his head. It's funny. You remind me so much of me, and at the same time so much of your father, she said. As Naruto's mind started to work, he reminded her so much of herself and his father. Did that mean she was his? No, that was impossible. This woman could not be his mother. His mother had died on the night of the Kyuubi attack. The Hokage told him, but something in his heart told him that he was looking at his birth mother. "Are you my mother?" said Naruto. With a warning, she wrapped her arms around him. "I am Kushina Uzumaki, and you are my son, Naruto Uzumaki," she said, as tears started gathering in his eye. As they started to fall, as Naruto hugged her tightly. "I'm here, my little Naruto-kun," she said. "I'm right here." As Naruto cried until he couldn't cry anymore, he pulled back. "How are you here?" "Gigi told me that you died in the Kyuubi attack." "I did," she said. "And if things do not go well here, you will die as well." As Naruto was shocked by that, he was gonna die? "What?" said Naruto. Out of everything he expected to hear, hearing that she was dead and that he was dying as well was not one of them. "You're in the middle of life and death, and if you don't pass, you will die," she said. "Wait, what?" said Naruto, as he had a confused look on his face that made him look so cute. It made her giggle a bit, as she placed a hand over her mouth. Okay, she said, calming herself. "When any soul pass on, they enter here, the soul field. Normally, when it comes to your case, you'll be transported to an area like this," she said, extending her hand around, as she then pointed as Naruto watched her finger. The area that she was pointing towards rippled, like it was made from water. It then changed, as Naruto saw a clear blue sky, as the ground showed a water reflection, reflecting from the heavens itself. "This is the reflection plane," she said. "Reflection plane?" said Naruto, confused. "This is a place where every soul will visit before they die, to think back on their choices before meeting Shinigami-sama for their final resting place." She then lowered her hand, closing the hole that she made towards the reflection plane. "The reason why you're not over there is because when a Uzumaki is close to death, they come here to gain another chance." "But how?" said Naruto. "The only way that you can return to the land of living is if you activate your dojutsu, Naruto." As Naruto blinked in surprise. So he had a clan and also a bloodline? "What's that?" said Naruto. "It's called the Kyogan," she said, or the Fighting Spirit Eye. The name is quite fitting for our clan. When our village, Uzu, was in the early stages, we quickly gained an enemy that served the god of destruction and death, Jashin. We do not know why the Jashness wanted to invade our growing village, but despite our longevity, we slowly started to lose the war. We began to pray to our Lord, Bishamon, to find a way to combat these carnage of destruction and chaos. She then closed her eyes. When she opened them, her pupil became onyx, and inside was the shape of a shuriken. But the points were elongated and they were also aggressive looking. And where the hole of the shuriken would normally be, there was a spiral, a blue electric spiral. And what we got in return was a Kyogan. Because of this dojutsu, we were able to defeat the Jashness, but at a severe cost, because when the Kyogan user dies, their soul passed down as a spirit to power the Kyogan. And if you overuse it too much, the spirit will die and be sent to the reflection plane and never be able to reunite with their loved ones. "You mean those stars?" said Naruto, as he had saw all the stars in the heaven in the reflection plane. She gave him a sad smile as she nodded, as she started once again. "But that is not all. When a user of the Kyogen pass along, their soul is added to Bishamon collection, which you will use to shape a new spirit as well as an element. The past user using their life to become a new spirit for the Kyogen user." "What happened to the old spirit when the new user dies?" said Naruto. Naruto started looking his mother eye that sadness. "They go to that lonely place, don't they?" said Naruto. As she nodded, Naruto punched his fist into his palm. "There must be a way to free these spirits," said Naruto. "There is a way, but you must fight and beat them in a battle to the death," she said. "What's the catch?" said Naruto, knowing that there must be one. She glanced towards the heaven. "When you're forced to fight a Kyogen spirit, they're forced to use their full power. If you win, they become free of their tragic fate. But if you were to lose, not only does their soul go to that place, but your soul go there as well." Wanting to change the subject, Kushina sat down, causing Naruto to follow her motion. "Now pay attention. Do you see the color of my eyes?" she said. Naruto nodded. "Well, this mode is called Sonic Mode. It represents speed and agility, and its element is lightning. The blue shuriken in the middle of her eyes changed from blue to red, and a spiral changed into a crimson color. This is Berserker mode. It represents strength, power, and its elements are fire, earth, and magma. A mix of the two. She then closed her eyes and opened them once again. Her entire eyes were completely black, and the pupil was silver, as the spiral was white. And this is stealth. Its elements are air and darkness. Her eyes then returned back to normal. Whoa. That's so awesome, said Naruto. So how do I achieve this bloodline, he asked, after coming down after the awe of his mother, Kyogan. However, he saw a frown on her face. If you do this, then you'll have no choice but to do it, no matter what it is. Do you understand that? As she saw the determination in his eyes. Yes, said Naruto. What must I do, said Naruto. Kushina closed her eyes. When she opened them once again, her Kyogen was in sonic mode. You must fight and defeat me. Naruto looked toward his mother in shock. After 14 long years without his mother, he had just found her, and now he had to fight her to live. Naruto knew that either way he loses. Before he could even think, he had to dodge a quick blow from her. However, her hand came up and slammed right into his ribs. As Naruto was blasted back, he quickly crossed his arm and blocked her oncoming kick. But nothing came, as Naruto realized that she was no longer there. You're not taking this seriously enough, Naruto-chan, he heard right into his ear. Naruto turned as he was blasted away with another kick as he crashed on the ground. Naruto didn't know. How could he fight his own mother? He just met her. He didn't want to fight her. However, she once again disappeared. As Naruto looked around, trying to find any sight of her, but he could not see her anywhere. As he got back to his feet, she reappeared as Naruto ducked, rolling away from her. Mom, I can't fight you, said Naruto, his hands up in defense, as tears started to fall from her eyes. I don't want to fight you either, she said, but I want you to live. It's not your time, she said to him. As Naruto looked down, he knew that he could not fight her the way he fought that bastard Mizuki. Oh, that's right, Mizuki. He was still alive. Naruto clenched his fists. Iruka sensei has always been there for him when he needed him. But this was his mother. How could he fight her? The place around them started to shimmer as Naruto found himself in the middle of a forest. Naruto blinked as he found the area where he was once in, before he had succumbed to his wounds. As Naruto noticed two things. One, Iruka's body was gone. The second, a large shuriken was coming towards him. Naruto ducked under the large shuriken as it slammed behind him. As Naruto saw Mizuki standing there, with a twisted smirk on his face. As Naruto frowned and rushed forward, however, his fist faded right through Mizuki as he vanished. He just disappeared. Mizuki then appeared beside him as he tried to punch him in his stomach. However, Naruto grabbed his arm before he jumped up and kicked him across the face. As Naruto created 3 shadow clones, 2 of them jumped forward and delivered 2 bone-crushing kicks to his chest. As they blasted him upwards, the third clone grabbed onto the real Naruto and threw him up in the air as he rushed forward and kicked Mizuki upwards once again. As Naruto was now in mid-air as he spun, he brought his leg down and slammed it inside of Mizuki's chest. His body was sent spiraling down towards the ground. The hand signs that he saw for the technique all flushed into his mind as the clones gathered under Mizuki. Please let this work. Great Clone Explosion Jutsu! As the 3 clones down below started to light up before, boom! They went up in a massive explosion. As Naruto landed, all he saw was a gigantic crater, before he was kicked in the back as he was sent right into the gigantic crater down below. 50 clones, including the real Naruto, blasted out of the crater. However, a black shadow enveloped all of them. As Naruto was left alone as he watched his clones were swallowed away, his eyes went wide as Mizuki smirked at him and motioned for him to come. But Naruto did not rush in head first. The bastard could not do any of this before, so how can he now, Naruto thought. That is when he noticed his eyes. They were pitch black, with the exception of the silver pupil. Without warning, Mizuki rushed over the shadow and sped towards Naruto at blinding speed. Naruto's head was thrown back from the punch as Mizuki grabbed him and started to assault him as he punched him repeatedly in the stomach. As Mizuki was overwhelming him, as Naruto was being knocked back. Mizuki's face got a frown on it, a very sad one, as he looked towards Naruto. He seemed to not want to as he moved forward until Naruto's body poofed away. Mizuki seemed shocked, as the Naruto that he was pounding on was nothing but a clone. Two hands burst from the ground and grabbed onto his legs. He tried to raise his hands, but two other clones came in and drive kunais into his shoulders, digging them inside deep, as the real Naruto appeared and plunged a kunai right into his chest. As Naruto looked up towards him panting, when Mizuki's skin started to break away, as it turned pitch black and turned into a strange liquid as they moved back. "What the hell?" said Naruto. "He seemed to know everything we do before we do it." Every time Mizuki was trapped or near his chance for him to hurt him, he was always near some kind of shadow. "That's it," said Naruto as he summoned 10 clones and had them transform into trees. As Naruto waited where he was, however, he did not have to wait long. Mizuki leaped from the shadows, jumping into the air. However, he was stopped by a tree branch. As Naruto jumped and delivered a brutal kick to his side, but Mizuki blocked it. However, Naruto kicked him right in the knee. Mizuki pushed Naruto off of him as he raised his hand to the heaven. A shadow off the ground rose up and covered his hand as it became a blade. He then sliced the tree branch that held onto his feet. However, it proceeded to poof away, not just the branch but the entire tree. As Mizuki landed on the ground, Mizuki rushed straight towards Naruto, but another tree swung a branch towards him, but Mizuki dispelled it with a swipe of his shadow blade. Naruto crossed his arms to block Mizuki, but he vanished. As Mizuki appeared behind him and slashed, as a large gash slashed across Naruto's back. It was all in a blur as Naruto felt more gashes all over his body, until he was blasted in mid-air. He was then repeatedly slashed as Naruto felt himself losing badly, until he crashed down into the ground, as he could barely move, as the blade stood inches away from his face. "Do you submit?" However, the voice was different. Naruto wanted to give up, as he could not even pay attention to the voice. He was tired, beaten. He could not go on, he could not win. He was gonna die. He wanted to just give up and rest, to lose himself in this darkness that was gonna encompass him. However, he remembered Iruka, the man that just died in front of him, saving his life. "No, I can't," said Naruto as he slammed his fist in the ground. "I'll never give up. I'll never fail. I'll make you pay for what you did. No, I'll never give up even if my body turned to ash. I'll fight you with everything I have," said Naruto. "So come on, let me have your worst." As Naruto was panting until he felt steam rising off his body. Looking at his hands, Naruto saw all of his wounds being healed. He was surprised as he felt all of his strength come back to him. Within about 2 minutes, he was fully recovered, as Mizuki stood there. "Why did you heal me?" Mizuki smiled as his image started to shimmer and twist into something else. "Mom?" said Naruto in surprise. "You were Mizuki?" As his mother stood there smiling at him. "Why did you do that?" said Naruto. "Why did you change into the bastard?" "You would not fight me like how I am now," she said. "So I changed into the person that you despise." "How did you know I hated him?" said Naruto. "The Kyogan, wisdom mode, can read people's mind to some extent." "Wait, wisdom mode? I thought there was only Sonic, Berserker, and Reaper," said Naruto. "There are more than those," she said. "The wisdom mode is symbolic just for me, since I was always good at reading people's movements and emotion. The Kyogan made wisdom mode just for me. No other Uzumaki member can have it. Only I can," she said. "But I failed," said Naruto. "I could not defeat you in this form, and I could not defeat you as Mizuki. And now I'll go to that place." However, she started to laugh. This confused Naruto as he looked up towards her. "What's so funny about me being stuck in a place like that?" said Naruto. "I'm afraid I was only kidding." You were kidding?" "Then what was the point of all of this?" Naruto yelled, making her giggle as she looked at his face, as Naruto was fuming red. As she raised her hand and she stopped her giggle. This entire thing, this test, was to see if you would give up. However, you showed me that you would never give up. I saw what I needed to see. Even when you realized you were losing, you still preserve forward. You pushed yourself, destroying your limits. It doesn't matter what held you back, you pushed forward to continue. And that is what I needed to see. You pass. I pass? I get to live, said Naruto. Yes, you get to live. Naruto rushed forward and hugged her as she hugged him back. She held on to him tight. They stayed like that for a few minutes until he asked, "So what happened now?" said Naruto. "This will hurt. I'm not going to sugarcoat it," she said. "So brace yourself." She placed her hand over his eyes. As Naruto felt that intense, searing pain, it coursed through him like a fireball, burning his insides, mostly his eyes. She held on to him as Naruto cried out as she held on to him, singing a soft tune as Naruto's cries overpowered hers. She held him like that for what seemed like hours, until Naruto finally passed out. When Naruto finally reopened his eyes, Naruto noticed that she was clear but everything else was blurry. As she looked down towards his face, his head was in her lap. "Look like you awaken, Kyogan. Sonic mode." "I'm surprised, really. I thought you would have Berserker mode." She held up her hand as a mirror appeared, out of literally nowhere, as his eyes were just like hers, when her eyes were in Sonic mode. "So I got Sonic mode randomly?" Naruto asked. She shook her head. "No, it's not that," she said. "The Kyogen choose which mode you're great with. Since you're faster than most people, the Kyogen choose to activate Sonic mode." As Naruto looked around as the era started to shine a whole lot brighter. "What's happening?" said Naruto, as his mother started to frown. As Naruto understood, it was time for him to return to the real world. He hugged on to her, as he didn't want to let her go. She whispered gently into his ears. "I will see you soon again one day," she said. "But for now, I want you to have a wonderful life, alright? And do not come here soon. I want you to go out and enjoy your life. Live, be happy, find someone to love." The petals all started to fly around him as Naruto felt her hands dislodged from him. Before he knew it, he was pulled back as he heard her whisper, "It doesn't matter what happened from here on out. I'll always be with you, Naruto-kun." Her voice seemed to echo through his entire world, as Naruto was yanked like he was pulled through some sort of rift, a tearing dimension he wasn't sure. Naruto opened his eyes as he wondered where he was, confused. As he wondered all of that, was it a dream, he thought to himself, as he wasn't sure where he was or what was going on. Looking, he saw Iruka's body, as he realized it was all true. So, it wasn't a dream. While he was glad that he met his mother, and that he had this dojutsu, it was his fault Iruka was dead. As Naruto looked toward his chest as he saw, there was blood. He was fine, but there was blood there. The blood was still fresh. That meant, despite the time that he spent with his mother, much time has not passed in the real world. "I won't let you get away, you bastard," as Naruto stepped forward until he blacked out and collapsed face first. Naruto opened his eyes as he groaned, confused what the hell just happened. "What the hell? The sky is not supposed to look like that," said Naruto. The sky was a dark blue, and there was rows of light streaming through it every second. It was switching and streaming as Naruto picked himself up, wondering where he was. The ground itself looked like it was a reflection of the sky, but it was hard. As he looked down towards his reflection, "Where am I?" he said, a confused look on his face. "Hello? Mom?" Naruto called out, wondering if she was here. "Is there anyone here?" he yelled. "Hey, if you need to get out, I can help you." Naruto spun around as he heard that voice. As Naruto saw, there was a man standing there. He had short black hair that reaches back, blue eyes that matched Naruto's own, a medium-sized scar running down his right cheek. As he was wearing a black Hiyori with a hakama on his back. Naruto did not know why, but as he looked at this man, he felt like he was looking at some sort of prince or a king. It was just a weird sensation. "So you're my new container, huh?" he said. "You seem tough enough," as he looked Naruto up and down, a bit on the shorter side. "But you'll do." Naruto was about to comment on the container part until the guy said short. Short? Who the hell are you calling short? He said. As the man chuckled, you are BAM! As Naruto punched him, feeling really pissed off, more than usual. The man flipped as he landed on his feet, as he grinned. Impressive. That punch came so fast I barely expected it. It's gonna be fun working with you, he said. What do you mean by that? The man started digging his right ear with his pinky, as he yawned, looking clearly bored. I am your Kyogan Sonic Mode, kiddo. Kasuk is the name, and speed is my game. As Naruto looked at him in shock, this man was his Kyogan Sonic Mode? How could that be? You might be wondering how could I be Sonic Mode, right? As Naruto nodded, well, whenever you activate me, or any of the other spirits, your body will merge with ours. Our mind will also fuse together, so even though you will be in control, we'll be thinking the same thoughts and feeling the same thing. We're basically one person when you awaken the Kyogan. Huh. When they say fighting spirit, I guess they really mean it, said Naruto. As the man nodded, so is there anything else you can do, other than give me speed and agility? A grin came on his face. Hold out your right arm, Kasuk said. As Naruto held out his arm, Kasuk's body went up in a bright flash, before he turned into a small pebble and landed in Naruto's palm. The pebble then started to extend and turn into a katana, with a blue hilt, with an electric bolt running down the side, as it seemed to be glistening with power. Naruto's eyes widened at that, as the metal was silk, and a bit bluish and darkish as well. Whoa, said Naruto as he swung the weapon. So you can become a weapon too. He then heard Kasuk's voice in his head. Yeah, but the bad part is you have to be in Sonic Mode to use me as a weapon. We'll still be combined, but the only difference is I'm a sword. As he returned back to a small orb before, returning back to how he looked before. How can you do it now then, said Naruto, if I have not activated the Kyogan yet? Because, you goof, this is my dimension. That form, while powerful, takes a lot out of both of us. So that is why we'll have to work on it. But with overtime usage, you won't even feel the stamina drain anymore. So kid, what's your element of into? Naruto blinked in confusion. I have no clue, he said. So much to learn, said Kasuk, before he glanced up towards the heavens. Looks like time is up, he said. When you come back I'll tell you more, but I suggest you find out what your element of into is. But remember, you have a job to do, he said. As Naruto clenched his fist remembering about Mizuki, he could not let him get away. So how do I get out of here, said Naruto. The ground underneath him started to break, as Naruto's eyes widened. He was about to scream until he fell, as a blue light enveloped Naruto from head to toe, as he fell into a bright abyss of nothing but light. However, as Naruto was falling, he was waking up back in reality, and he felt a surge of power course through him, as he felt the power bubbling through his veins, his bones, his entire being. I'm coming for you, Mizuki, said Naruto. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. And remember to share to your friends in social media platform. So yeah, without further ado, wasting more time, what do you say we jump right out of here. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.